I never imagined that a simple seating arrangement at a wedding could flip my entire relationship upside down. Weddings are supposed to be joyful, chaotic celebrations, full of laughter, awkward uncles, and too sweet desserts. Not emotional traps. But somehow, that's exactly what I walked into that evening. The wedding was for my childhood friend, Lila, someone I'd known since we were both missing our front teeth and believed glitter glue could fix anything. When she sent the invitation, I RSVP'd with my boyfriend, Noah. We'd been together a year, long enough to be comfortable, not long enough to have total immunity to insecurity. Especially his. Noah was the first person to make me feel genuinely chosen after everything with my ex, Aaron. Which is exactly why this story is so twisted. The wedding venue was stunning, an outdoor garden draped in fairy lights, white roses tied to chair backs, and a gentle breeze that smelled like something between fresh leaves and vanilla candles. I was in a navy dress that hugged my waist just right, and Noah wore a charcoal suit that made him look annoyingly handsome. We took pictures, laughed, held hands. It felt perfect. Until it didn't. We walked to our assigned table, and I froze. Like actually froze, feet cemented, lungs confused about whether they still worked. Because there, in the seat directly beside mine, was someone I never wanted to be forced into close proximity with again. Aaron. My ex. His face was the same, sharp jawline, dark hair slightly curling, eyes that always looked like they were halfway between sincere and clever. He stood up when he saw me, offering a polite nod, the kind you give someone you shared a past with but no longer share a life with. Oh, I breathed under my breath. Noah looked at me, puzzled. You okay? I swallowed hard. Yeah. Just, didn't expect him. His gaze followed mine, and as soon as he recognized Aaron, his jaw tightened. Noah wasn't the jealous type, at least not usually, but his shoulders stiffened, and his hand slipped from mine. I took a breath and forced a small smile. Let's just sit. It'll be fine. We sat. Me between the two men. The emotional equivalent of sitting between a lit match and gasoline. Dinner hadn't even been served yet. Aaron leaned a little closer, not flirtatiously, just politely. Hi, Emma. It's been a while. Yeah, I replied awkwardly. Congratulations on existing, I guess. He chuckled. Still charming. Noah shot him a look cold enough to freeze champagne. I nudged Noah gently. Hey, I whispered, don't do that. It's just one night. Is it? He murmured back, voice tight. Because I'm starting to feel like I walked into an alternate universe. The ceremony began before anything could escalate. But that didn't help. Because for an hour, I was hyper-aware of everything. Aaron's cologne, why did he still smell like cedar wood and memories? Noah's arm pulling away from my chair, why did he feel miles away suddenly? My own heartbeat, why was it thudding like I was hiding a secret I didn't even have? When the ceremony ended, everyone clapped, music started, and the bride and groom danced their way down the aisle. It was beautiful. Emotional. Distracting, for everyone except me. I felt Noah's hand on my knee under the table. Hey. I turned to him. He wasn't angry, not yet. Just unsure. The type of unsure that made me want to reach for him, anchor him, reassure him. But before I could speak, Aaron leaned in just enough to be heard over the music. You look good, Emma. Really good. My spine went rigid. Noah stared at me. Then at him. Then back at me. Thanks, I said quickly, voice forced. It's just a dress. Aaron smiled, soft but not innocent. It's not the dress. Noah's jaw twitched, and he shifted in his seat. You do realize she's here with me, right? Aaron lifted his palms in surrender. Relax, man. I'm not trying anything. It was a compliment. Well, keep it to yourself, Noah snapped quietly. I closed my eyes for half a second. Great. Exactly what I was afraid of. I leaned toward Noah. Babe, please. Don't let him get to you. He looked at me, and the question in his eyes felt heavier than the air around us. Does he still get to you? He whispered. That one hurt. No, I said instantly. Absolutely not. We're done. Completely. He nodded, but it didn't reach his eyes. Dinner arrived, and we ate in stiff, awkward silence. The only sounds were clinking forks and the DJ trying too hard. Occasionally, Aaron would make a harmless comment about the food, the venue, the bride's shoes. Nothing inappropriate. Yet every time he spoke, Noah's back straightened like he was preparing for impact. At one point, I accidentally brushed Aaron's elbow while reaching for my glass. A meaningless, accidental graze. Noah noticed. His expression didn't change immediately, but his breathing did, sharper, more controlled, like he was holding something in. Bathroom, he said abruptly, standing up. My stomach dropped. He didn't kiss my temple. He didn't squeeze my shoulder. He didn't look back. I waited a moment, then stood to follow him. But Aaron touched my wrist gently. He's upset, he said softly. Give him a minute. I pulled my hand away, not harshly, but firmly. Don't. Please. Just don't comment on him. Or me. Or anything. He nodded slowly. You're right. Sorry. I exhaled and walked toward the hallway where the bathrooms were. My heels felt heavier with each step. I found Noah standing near a potted plant, as if he needed backup from the shrubbery. He wasn't crying. He wasn't angry. He was hurting. Quietly, painfully hurting. Noah. He didn't look at me. Do you still love him? The question shattered me. What? No. Why would you even? Because, he interrupted, you froze when you saw him. Because you're acting different. Because he looks at you like he knows something I don't. I blinked rapidly, stunned. I froze because I wasn't expecting to sit next to someone I had a complicated past with. That's all. It meant nothing. He finally looked at me. His eyes were softer now, but still searching. You didn't tell me he'd be here. Because I didn't know, I insisted. Lila didn't mention him at all. Do you still feel anything? He asked again, voice smaller this time. I felt something then, not for my ex, but for the man in front of me. The man who loved me so much it scared him. The man who wasn't afraid to admit insecurity, but also couldn't hide it. Noah, I whispered, stepping close enough to touch his chest, I don't love Aaron. I don't want Aaron. I don't miss Aaron. I chose you. He swallowed. Then why do I feel like I'm losing something tonight? I opened my mouth. But the moment shattered when we heard someone approaching. Aaron. Of course. He appeared in the hallway, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable. Everything okay? Noah gave him a look sharp enough to cut glass. And that's where the night truly began to unravel. The drive home from the wedding felt like sitting inside a pressure cooker. The night air outside was calm, but inside the car, the silence buzzed with tension. Liam kept his eyes on the road, jaw clenched so tightly that the muscles twitched. I sat with my hands in my lap, twisting my bracelet around my wrist, trying to gather the words that might break the ice without breaking us. He didn't look at me, didn't even sigh or shuffle in his seat, just drove, steady and rigid, like a man trying to outrun his own thoughts. Finally, when we stopped at a red light, he spoke. Did you know he'd be there? His voice wasn't loud or angry. That almost made it worse. It was careful, too careful, like he was holding back a storm to avoid hurting me or himself. I swallowed. No. I had no idea. My cousin didn't tell me. He nodded, but the nod felt like a wall, not understanding, just acknowledgement. And sitting next to him, that just happened, he asked. Yes, I whispered. I didn't choose the seat. They arranged the table. The light turned green, and the car moved again. The city light streaked past the windshield, casting brief shadows across Liam's face. I could see the hurt in his eyes even though he avoided meeting mine. He laughed softly, without humor. I didn't expect to see you looking so comfortable with him. My heart sank. It wasn't comfort, I said quickly. It was awkward. I was trying to be civil. Nothing more. He didn't answer. We reached my apartment building, but instead of parking, he pulled the car over and put it in park. The engine hummed between us, a low, vibrating reminder that the world kept moving even when we were stuck. Can we sit for a moment? He asked. I nodded. He leaned back, closing his eyes, as if he needed strength to say what he was about to. I love you, Ava. His voice cracked just slightly. But tonight, it scared me. My breath caught. Scared you? Why? He opened his eyes, looking at me with a vulnerability I rarely saw in him. Because for the first time, I felt like I was competing with a ghost, he said. Someone you once chose. Someone who knew you before me. Someone who, apparently still gets under your skin. I don't have feelings for him, I said firmly. Not anymore. Liam, you have to believe me. He shook his head gently. I want to. God, I want to. But when I saw you two sitting together, you looked so peaceful. Like a part of your past just fit comfortably beside you. His misinterpretation stung deeply. Liam, I was being polite. I was trying not to ruin my cousin's big day. I placed my hand on his arm. Nothing about sitting next to Ethan felt comfortable. He exhaled, looking out the window instead of at me. What did he say to you? He asked quietly. I hesitated. Not because I wanted to hide anything, but because I knew that repeating Ethan's words would only make things worse. But transparency mattered. He said he regrets how he treated me, I said. That he hopes I'm happy. And he asked if I ever think about the past. Liam's head snapped toward me, worry flashing in his eyes. And do you? Sometimes, I admitted. But not because I miss him. I think about the past the same way people think about a scar. They see it, they remember how it happened, and then they move on. Liam stared at me, trying to read the sincerity in my expression. I continued, he was a part of my life, yes. But he's not a part of my heart anymore. Silence filled the car, but the tension eased slightly. I'm scared of losing you, he confessed. You won't, I promised. But you didn't see the way you looked, he said. When he talked to you at the table, your eyes softened. You looked nostalgic. I frowned. I was surprised. That's all. I never expected to see him again. His fingers drummed lightly against the steering wheel, a nervous habit of his. Maybe I'm overthinking, he said. Maybe it's jealousy. Maybe it's insecurity. But I can't shake the feeling that tonight exposed something, unresolved. I don't have unresolved feelings, I insisted. I have unresolved memories. That's different. He looked at me, searching my face for the truth. And what if he asked for a chance to make things right? Liam asked suddenly. The question hit me like cold water. He didn't, I replied firmly. But if he did? I would say no, I said without hesitation. Why? he pressed. Because I've already met the man I want to fight for. That softened him. I watched the tension in his shoulders melt slowly, like ice thawing under sunlight. You really mean that? He asked quietly. I nodded. Every word. He finally took my hand, intertwining our fingers. His grip was warm, familiar, grounding. I'm sorry, he said after a moment. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions. I just felt this awful twist in my chest. It scared me how much it bothered me. It's okay to feel jealous, I said softly. You're human. So are you, he replied. And humans sometimes hide things, even unintentionally. I'm not hiding anything, I said. My past doesn't threaten my present. And it definitely doesn't threaten my future. He breathed in slowly, as if absorbing my words. I believe you, he whispered. I just needed to hear you say it. We sat quietly for a moment, holding hands. The streetlight outside flickered, casting a warm glow across the interior of the car. Liam looked at me again, softer this time. Can I ask one more thing? Anything. When you looked at him tonight, was there even the smallest part of you that wondered what could have been? I paused, choosing my words carefully, not to protect him, but to protect the truth. There was a moment, I admitted honestly, where I realized something. His breath caught. What? That I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And he reminded me only because the past showed me what love isn't. You showed me what love is. Liam closed his eyes, relief washing over him. When he opened them again, there was gratitude in his gaze, quiet, raw, and real. Thank you for being honest, he said. Thank you for listening, I replied. He squeezed my hand. I'm sorry for doubting you. And I'm sorry tonight was uncomfortable, I said. It's okay, he whispered. We'll get through it. Together? I asked. He smiled for the first time since we left the wedding. Together. Aaron approached with a pace that didn't match the calm mask he'd worn all evening. His eyes were sharper now, his jaw set, like he had made a decision he couldn't take back. Noah stepped instinctively in front of me, not aggressively, but protectively, placing himself between us. What now? Noah asked, tone clipped. Aaron lifted a hand. Relax. I'm not here to fight. I just need to say something before this gets worse. My stomach twisted. Aaron, please, this isn't the time. That's exactly why I need to say it now, he replied. His voice wasn't loud, but it carried urgency, like he'd been sitting at that table replaying the same thoughts until he couldn't hold them in anymore. What do you want? Noah demanded. Aaron took a breath and looked at both of us. I'm not trying to create drama. But I don't want to be the silent ghost hovering around your table while you two tear each other apart. So let me clear the air. Noah's shoulders tensed. We're not tearing. You are, Aaron cut in gently but firmly. I've been watching you all night. And I know both of you well enough to see it. Noah bristled. You don't know me. Aaron nodded. True. But I know her. And I know the look on her face when she's overwhelmed. My chest tightened. Aaron. He held up a hand. Just let me talk. A minute. That's all. Noah looked like he was balancing on the edge of restraint, but he didn't interrupt. Aaron turned fully to me. His expression softened, not romantically, not longingly, but sincerely. Emma. I'm sorry. I blinked. For what? For everything, he said. For the way things ended between us. For leaving things so messy that even a year later, you freeze when you see me. I didn't realize how much weight you still carried from our breakup. And tonight. I added to it. The words hit harder than I expected. Unexpected honesty can do that. Noah's jaw clenched. So what are you trying to say? That she still cares? Aaron shook his head. No. I'm saying I finally understand the damage I caused. And I don't want it to interfere with her life, or her relationship. Noah fell silent, caught off guard by the sincerity. Aaron continued, voice steady. Whatever we were, whatever we had, it's gone. And I'm not here to revive it. I'm here to say I'm glad she's with someone who clearly cares about her. Noah's eyes narrowed, observing him carefully. And I'm telling you this, Aaron added, looking at me with surprising gentleness, so you can stop feeling responsible for my presence. I'm fine. I've moved on. You should too. A chill rushed through me, relief mixed with a strange ache I didn't expect. Closure is weird like that. It feels like someone sewing up an old wound, but the needle still stings. I managed a quiet, thank you. Aaron nodded. You deserve peace, Emma. Even if I wasn't able to give it when we were together. Noah shifted beside me, still trying to decide whether to trust the moment or stay defensive. Then Aaron turned to him. And about earlier. I shouldn't have commented. I shouldn't have made things harder. I'm not trying to compete with you. I'm not trying to resurrect anything. She's with you. Respect that I get it. Noah exhaled slowly, eyes flicking between us. Okay, he said finally. I appreciate you saying that. For the first time the entire night, the tension loosened. Not fully, but enough for the three of us to breathe. Aaron stepped back. I'll give you two space. Enjoy the rest of the wedding. Really? He turned and walked away, disappearing into the glow of fairy lights and dancing guests. I watched him leave, not with longing, but with a strange sense of something settling quietly inside me. Noah ran a hand through his hair. That was unexpected. Yeah, I whispered. I didn't think he'd ever say any of that. He looked at me. Did you need to hear it? The question wasn't insecure, it was thoughtful. Honest. Maybe, I admitted. Not because I miss him. But because part of me still felt guilty. Like there were loose ends I never tied. And now, he asked. I breathed out. Now I feel lighter. That's it. Nothing more. He nodded slowly. Good. We began walking back toward the reception, but Noah stopped after just a few steps. Emma? Yes? Earlier, before he came over. I asked you something. My heartbeat quickened. Yes. You asked if I miss him. Even a little. He swallowed. And you didn't get to answer. I turned fully to him, taking his hands. Noah. I don't miss him. Not even a little. I don't want him back. I don't replay old memories. I don't wonder, what if? I don't feel torn. His shoulders lowered as he listened carefully. But, I continued, he was a part of my life. A chapter that didn't end cleanly. And sometimes, unfinished chapters feel heavier than finished ones. Tonight gave me closure. That's all. He nodded, absorbing every word. I'm with you, I whispered. Only you. He stepped closer, forehead brushing mine. I needed to hear that. Thank you. I smiled softly. Always. We walked back hand in hand to the reception table. When we sat down, the newlyweds were sharing a slow dance. The lights dimmed. The atmosphere softened. For the first time all evening, I felt like we might actually survive this night. Aaron stayed at the opposite end of the garden, talking to a group of cousins from the groom's side. He didn't look our way again. He didn't hover. He didn't interfere. It felt peaceful. Noah and I swayed a little in our seats to the music. His fingers brushed over mine in a silent apology. I squeezed his hand in a silent forgiveness. But just as the night finally began to settle, something happened that shattered the fragile calm. The bride, Lila, approached our table, dress glowing under the lights, face flushed from dancing. She stopped beside me, breathless and smiling. "There you are," she said cheerfully. "Emma, can I steal you for something? It'll only take a minute." I smiled. "Of course. What's up?" She bit her lip nervously. It's about the seating chart. There was a reason you and Aaron were placed together. I didn't want to say anything earlier because I thought it might be weird, but... My pulse spiked. "What reason?" Lila hesitated. "I thought you two were friends again. Aaron told me you'd been texting recently, catching up after the breakup. He said you were on good terms." My breath left my body like someone punched it out. "What?" Noah said sharply beside me. I stared at her. "Lila, we haven't spoken in almost a year. At all. Not a single text." She blinked, confused and pale. "But he showed me messages." Noah's eyes darkened instantly. "Messages from who?" Lila swallowed hard. "They were from Emma. At least, that's what he said." Cold dread washed through me. Because those messages weren't from me. And suddenly, everything about tonight looked different. For a moment, the world stopped moving. The laughter, the music, the clinking glasses, everything blurred into a distant hum. My skin prickled. Noah slowly straightened in his chair, every muscle in his body tightening with controlled fury. Lila looked terrified. She kept twisting her hands as if apologizing with her fingers. I thought you two reconciled," she stammered. "He said you reached out. He showed me messages. Screenshots. I swear I wasn't trying to cause trouble." "I know," I whispered, trying to steady my breath. "But those messages weren't from me." Noah leaned toward me, voice low and sharp. "Emma, what exactly did he show her?" Lila glanced at us nervously. Texts about the breakup. About regret. About wanting to understand each other again. It looked like you were trying to get closure or maybe reconnect." My stomach twisted violently. Noah's eyes burned. "He lied." I nodded, swallowing the rising nausea. "He lied." Before we could say another word, I felt it, the shift in the air behind us. A presence. A shadow of someone standing close enough to hear. Aaron. Of course. He stood at the edge of our table, lips pressed tightly together, his expression unreadable but his eyes flickering with something, anticipation, dread, guilt. I couldn't tell. Lila backed away instinctively. "I'll let you guys talk," she whispered, slipping into the crowd. Aaron exhaled slowly. "I was hoping you'd hear that a different way." My pulse hammered. "You told her I texted you." He didn't deny it. Noah stood up so fast his chair scraped across the floor. "Say it," he hissed. "Say you lied." Aaron shifted his weight. "They were real messages," he said quietly. "Just, not from this phone." He lifted the one in his hand. "I deleted them." My voice dropped to a cold whisper. "They weren't from me." "So who were they from?" His silence was the answer I didn't want. Noah took a step forward. "Show us the number." Aaron's jaw tightened. "I can't." "Why not?" I asked, voice shaking. "Because it'll prove you were lying." He glanced around, like he was looking for a way out, not of the argument, but of the truth. "Because," he finally said, "the number was saved under your name." My breath hitched. Saved by who? Not me. I know, Aaron said. It wasn't your phone. Noah's voice dropped into a dangerous calm. Aaron, are you seriously going to stand here and tell us someone pretended to be her, and you didn't think to confirm it? He swallowed. I didn't want to question it. Noah stared at him, stunned. Why? Aaron hesitated. Then. Because I missed her. The words detonated like a bomb. I froze. Noah's jaw tightened as if he were holding back the impulse to break something. You told us you moved on, I whispered. I tried, Aaron said. I meant it when I apologized. But when someone using your name texted me a few months ago, opening up, apologizing, saying they'd been thinking about what we had, he looked at me with something desperate and raw. I wanted it to be you. I needed it to be you. Noah shook his head slowly. So you didn't care if it was real. You just wanted it badly enough to pretend. Aaron didn't answer. I felt dizzy. Who was it then? Who would do that? Aaron hesitated. Her number wasn't saved as Emma originally. It was a new contact. Just a number. And the conversation wasn't detailed. It was vague, emotional. It was enough to convince me she was reaching out. That doesn't answer the question, Noah growled. Who was it? Aaron rubbed his forehead. I don't know for sure. But I think it might have been someone I dated after Emma. Someone who knew I wasn't over it. She saw me talking about closure and she said she could help. I didn't think she meant catfishing. Noah let out a disbelieving laugh. You let someone who wasn't my girlfriend impersonate my girlfriend, kept the messages, showed them to the bride, and sat next to us all night like nothing was wrong? Aaron flinched. Noah, I'm sorry. No, Noah cut him off, voice low. You're pathetic. Aaron didn't argue. He just stood there, shoulders slumped. I stepped closer, trembling but clear. Aaron, you created this entire mess. You lied. You let Lila believe we were friends again. You forced this awkward seating. You let Noah question my feelings all night. His voice cracked. I know. And I regret it. Regret? Noah snapped. You don't get to regret your way out of this. People around us began glancing over. We weren't yelling, but the tension radiated like heat. I raised a hand, forcing myself to stay grounded. What exactly was your plan tonight, Aaron? Sit next to me and hope, what? That I'd magically feel something? Aaron closed his eyes. No. I just thought if we had one normal conversation, one moment that didn't feel angry or broken, maybe I could let go. Maybe I could move on. And instead? I asked. He exhaled shakily. Instead, I ruined everything. Again. Silence settled over the three of us. Noah's voice softened, not with sympathy, but exhaustion. We're done here. Aaron nodded, eyes down. Yeah. I know. He stepped back, giving us space, not with intention to return, but with the body language of someone accepting defeat. I'll leave the wedding, he murmured. This is your night, not mine. He walked away slowly, shoulders heavy, disappearing into the crowd with none of the confidence he arrived with. The moment he was gone, Noah sank into his chair, head in his hands. I sat beside him, placing a hand gently on his back. He didn't move for a long time. Then finally, he looked at me, eyes tired but clear. I'm sorry, he whispered. My heart softened. For what? For doubting you, he said. For letting him get inside my head. For letting insecurity ruin your night. I shook my head. You were reacting to lies. To manipulation. to something that looked real. Anyone would have questioned it. He looked at me with a fragile vulnerability. Do you still trust me? I took his hands and held them tightly. Yes. 100 times yes. His eyes glistened, not with tears, but with relief. And you? He asked. Do you trust me? I smiled softly. More than anyone. He let out a long breath and leaned his forehead to mine. I don't want to lose you, Emma. You won't, I whispered. Not tonight. Not ever. For the first time all evening, the world felt steady. We stood, walked onto the dance floor, and swayed beneath golden lights. The chaos of the night faded behind us, replaced by something quieter, something stronger. Our relationship didn't break that night. It hardened. Strengthened. Deepened. Sometimes it takes facing a ghost to realize who's truly standing beside you. And Noah? He wasn't just beside me. He was mine. And I was his. Fully, unapologetically, completely.